Fueled by C4, Cellucor, and Extend. Use the code Clydesdale to get 20% off at checkout at c4energy.com. On Clydesdale Media, where we bring you the widest array of content here on our YouTube channel. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Hit that notifier so you're the first to know when new episodes are available. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Clydesdale Media Podcast. My name is Scott Switzer. I'm the Clydesdale. I am so pumped to have Hattie Kanyo with me today. I am to that point in the season where a week and a half away from the games, I need to do stuff that I enjoy. So I'm bringing on all the cool people that I love to talk to. And Hattie is at the top of that list. I just love...
Oh, I'm wonderful. I'm so good. Just had my fix of the mountains yesterday, so I'm kind of still on a high from it. It was pretty intense. So yeah, I'm doing really good.
So I'm gonna show some pictures of the mountains because the pictures are so good. They deserve some airtime.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I want to start with some breaking news.
Okay.
And I need your opinion on this because if people don't know, you're an Ascend athlete and you are the gymnastics coach with Ascend.
I am. I just started doing one-on-one with them as well. So I'm their gymnastics coach and their one-on-one coach as well.
You're jumping ahead into my notes again.
Oh, sorry.
So anyway, it was announced today what event 8 or 9 will be at the CrossFit Games. I know you were up in the mountains. It was announced the other night that event 7 was a 5K run. Event 9 is the Olympic weightlifting total.
Ooh, I haven't seen that yet.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen so you can see the announcement on Instagram. That is the wrong one.
That's me.
That's for later. Let's try this again with the right Instagram. There we go. There's Mr. Froning. Olympic weightlifting total.
Nice.
So if you look at the post, and this was done with the 5K as well, they have the Venn diagram.
Yeah.
Where the 3 circles intersect to make CrossFit. We have the monostructural as 5K. We have the weightlifting as the Olympic weightlifting total. And we have a blank piece of the Venn diagram that is gymnastics. So as a gymnastics specialist and a gymnastics coach, what would you want to see as the gymnastics test? Because I'm assuming this is a big assumption. So 5K is event 7, total is event 9. My guess is gymnastics is event 8. And together they make CrossFit.
Mm-hmm. I could see that. I'm trying to think. I mean, like, handstands are your kind of fundamental of gymnastics. So, I mean, I would love to see a bunch of handstand walking with something else, but I mean, I feel like it'll probably be more like some kind of muscle up, the bar or the ring, maybe a little bit of both, but I don't know. I know one year they did like a bunch of handstand walk. I think it was like as far as they could go or something like that. That would be pretty cool. I just love handstand walking. So I remember one time me and Emily Rolfe at a competition, we had a little competition. She of course made me go first because she is amazing at it. And I was like, okay, let's do this. And so we had a competition to see who could handstand walk the furthest. And yeah, she killed me, but I mean, that was really fun. So I don't know if he's going to go more around like the fundamental route than maybe something handstandy. But
so I would say what I don't want to see is 30 muscle ups for time.
No,
we've done that enough times. Yeah. Like I hope, like I love your idea of handstand walking. And I don't even care if it's a combination of like handstand walks and muscle ups, or handstand walks and maybe a chest to bar to bar muscle up. So, like a progression.
Yeah, like some kind of complex, like toes to bar into chest to bar into bar muscle up or something.
Yeah, but
Or
make it
even
actually a complex.
like that on the rings. Yeah, a complex would be cool. I just feel like he's been talking a lot about like the fundamentals and like how you should have strict before you're kipping and stuff like that. So I feel like, it's kind of when he talks about stuff, then maybe that's when he's going to throw that kind of stuff in. So maybe it's even like strict ring muscle ups with something else as well, right? Like, I don't know.
So wow, there's a lot of comments already. You are blowing it up. So someone said freestanding handstands for time. Someone says iron cross for time. I don't think that would
yeah,
work.
Right.
Chelsea Miller says a version of JT.
Is my guess. Do I know what JT is?
I don't
Should
even
I
know what JT is. I don't know.
I'm not sure what JT is either.
Wad Zombie says Hattie has an infectious energy. She does.
You.
Yes. And Bruce says 30 muscle ups for time. That's what I don't want to see. We've done it enough times.
That's good for practice, right? Like we don't need to be throwing that in there. Make it a little more interesting, I feel like. Maybe it's 30 for time with like a twist or something, right?
Yeah. Brian Reinhardt says, move strong body tempering misses you so much. Hurry and come back.
Oh, I love you. I miss you too. So much.
So yeah, I think that gets us caught up.
What if it was like 30 ring muscle ups for time? Every time you break, you have to do like a certain amount of handstand walk or something, like a crazy handstand walk or something. That'd be kind of cool. 2159 handstand push-ups, ring dips, ring.
That's JT.
Dips, push-ups. Oh, okay. Okay. Gross.
Yeah.
Ow.
Yeah, that the handstand ring push-up thing was such a disaster the last time they tried it.
I know.
Unless they come up with like a legit standard that can be judged.
Yeah. And the guys had to go up on the high rings. That would have been so sketchy.
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to get your impressions on that, being a gymnastics expert yourself, and what you wanted to see in that, because this actually has me excited.
Yeah.
I love that they're kind of dissecting what CrossFit is into its elements, and we're going to see each aspect by itself.
Yeah, I do too. I think that's awesome.
So let's get back to you. You're in your off season, and everybody knows when you're trying to make the CrossFit Games, your social life kind of takes a backseat for a minute. And you have a boyfriend named Jake.
I do.
And you guys have been together quite a long time now.
Yeah, we're in our 6th year.
So what happens when your season ends? Is it like find each other again? Kind of rediscover what it is you have as a couple because you haven't been able to do that much throughout the season?
I mean, through the season, it's actually the other way around because he's a firefighter right now. So it's actually, he's gone from me for the whole summer. So he's like, I have a coach, you've talked to him, Tristan and everything. He's obviously kind of a newer coach for me, but Jake's always been there as kind of, like that safe person that I can go to. So even during the season, like he was always there for me. So I feel like we're able to build our relationship through that because it's hard. Like I remember watching one of the old documentaries with Tia and Shane, and it's just like, he was just like, sometimes it's hard because she talks to me like, I'm her coach, but then she'll talk to me like her significant other. And we need to like figure out the the balance in that. And I feel like that really does help your relationship grow. So I feel like in that sense, that has helped us. I mean, this also helps us grow being apart from each other. I do not like long distance, and sometimes it's so hard. So I'll call him crying and being like, I don't want this anymore. Like, come home, right? So, but he's just always got that calming energy, and he's just like, we can do this. We've done it before. Let's hop on a FaceTime. We'll talk like every day as long as you need it or whatever, right? So I feel like just all year round, we're always working on our relationship.
And that's got to be hard, like, because like your season ends, right? And it didn't end the way you wanted it to. And you probably just want that comfort with your significant other.
Yeah.
And he's off fighting fires in Canada. And we know that is like a hellacious job right now.
Yeah, it's crazy right now. He's been busy too, so it's been kind of hard for us to talk as much as we want. But yeah, I mean, he was even firefighting during semis, but I don't know, thank the Lord for the freaking time off that he had, because it was exactly aligned to semis. And last year he didn't get to come to my semis because of this. So it was just so amazing to have him there.
And so, and what I find funny is you used to be the firefighter.
Mm-hmm.
So roles are completely flipped.
Yeah.
So Chelsea,
cool.
Chelsea, who is Canadian, wants to know which province is he in right now?
So he's in Alberta. Some of the biggest fires going on in Canada right now are in northern Alberta, and that's so in Alberta there's 10 districts, I believe, and he's in the very north where they're the busiest with fires. That's where I used to firefight, and yeah, there was two really big ones. One of them, a whole town, a whole reservation got burnt over. The other one, this town had to get evacuated. And he was on that one for a whole shift, just working hard. And yeah, this shift, he's just bumping around to different fires. Like yesterday, he was at a fire. Today, he's like, now we're going to a new fire, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's all over the place. So.
But you've done the job, so you kind of understand the life he's living right now.
100%. And I understand that there's busier years than others. Like last year was kind of a lull year, and then this year is crazy. And I had two of those in my years of firefighting where they were just insane. And I got exports to BC, to the States. Our own district was crazy. And so I do understand what it's like to just be working all the time. And because you're not always working for our job, we're initial attack. So what that is you're just a 4-man crew, and you're pretty much just waiting for a fire to happen. You're sitting by your helicopter waiting for a fire to happen. But on these busy years, you are out on fires more often. So yeah.
So Chelsea follows up. I'm in Calgary, and the north sucks right now. Had smoke here last week.
Yeah, there's been a lot of smoke. I've been to Waterton, the national park that I was just at, and it's been pretty smoky there as well the last couple days.
So with all that going on, you really do need to kind of center yourself at times. And when you do that, is it the mountains that does that for you?
Oh, for sure. Mountains and just being with friends, and yeah, I like picking up my hobbies again, because when I was in Houston, just training, that's all I was doing. I was just a hermit. Like I used to make jewelry, and I just like stopped that for a while. And oh yeah, see, like, oh, even just that picture, it just brings me joy. Look at that. Isn't that insane? Scott, I was almost crying.
It doesn't even look real.
I know.
It's like,
my brother's insane, and he does stuff like this for fun all the time. And me, I'm like, okay, once a year, let's just put me out of my comfort zone. And that's exactly what this hike did, but it was so worth it being at the top. I felt like I was on top of the world. And there's a mountain just to the right. If you're looking at the photo to the right of that, I think it's Mount Anderson, and it's high. As you're going up, you're looking up at it, like you look around and you look up at it and you're like, that thing is a beast. But then we went up to, this is actually the highest mountain in Waterton National Park, the one that we climbed. So as soon as I got above that really big one, I was like, whoa, now I'm the big one. And looking down at that massive mountain, it was crazy.
I love the way you look at things that way. Like with just pure excitement. And when I'm around you, like it was so much fun getting to see you at semifinals, because we've talked before, and to get to meet you and
it was
see that
amazing.
energy you bring is just amazing. This is so breathtaking. Like, I want this almost framed in
You can
my
have
living room.
it.
It is, my gosh, it's so good. And I'm going to flip through some of the other pictures. And
that's my bro.
So that's your brother.
So my brother is actually the one who showed me fitness. I was going down a very dark path in life, and I'm so grateful for him. Oh, I'm going to cry. I'm just so grateful for him, because obviously, like, he pushes me out of my comfort zone, but he just like changed my life with fitness. And yeah, I love adventuring with him, and I'm always grateful for him. So
is this like a one-day hike?
Yeah, it took us like 5.5 hours. Not a full day, but yeah, it took us about 5.5 hours, because we were motoring. Like, my brother's a billy goat, man. It was me, my brother, and then his work friend, and me and the work friend. Like, it's a little bit out of both of our comfort zones, but we're just looking up, like, where did Drew go? And then you'll see him just like way above us, and he's just waiting for us.
So what is it like to get to spend this kind of time with your brother, who it's very obvious that you love to death?
Yeah, it's amazing. Obviously, I don't get to see him all the time, and I mean, he's got a crazy work schedule sometimes too. He's a police officer, so he does like 2 nights, 2 days, and I mean, during the summer, he tries to make it so he has lots of days off, because he's the biggest adventurer I've known ever in my life. And so he's obviously always going to the mountains, but yeah, it's just amazing. I mean, sometimes it's frustrating because he does stuff like this where I'm like, dude, I'm not mentally prepared for something like this, but he's calm. He calms me down. We're able to get to the top, and yeah, it's amazing.
This is just insane.
Yeah, so this is a good panoramic. And then down there's 3 lakes in that little gully, right? Yeah, right there. Those are Lynham. And then that's a big waterfall. Like, it looks tiny from here, obviously, but there's a big waterfall right there. And yeah, it's just amazing.
Is that the waterfall?
Just down. No, so the lakes, and then you go down. Yeah, right there. Yeah.
It all looks so tiny.
I know.
Wow. Man.
Yeah, it's insane. And that's all the hike going up is just so shaly, right? And that's the route that we went up. And again, it looks so tiny, but just being up there was insane.
So stuff like that, like, just gets you centered and back to Hattie.
Yeah, for sure.
So today you're recharged, you're re-energized, getting some fitness in, going to the gym.
Yeah, I'm here at the gym now, getting ready to do another qualifier. So I'm doing the Egypt, the L Fit. So I already did one of the workouts, and I'm doing the other one after this.
One thing what I admire about you so much is just your ability to pick up and go. Like you spent months in Houston, you're back in Canada, you go over to Bali, you're going to go to Egypt for a competition, because we know you're going to qualify because you're awesome.
Thank you. And hopefully Dubai as well.
Dubai, there you go. Is that what makes you happy? Like, just traveling the world, seeing what the world has to offer?
Yeah, it does for sure. But it's not always easy. I know it kind of seems easy. And like, even on Instagram and stuff, I do try to show like the hard stuff. But I can't really complain because I do have a really good life and I just try to live life, and be happy. And Jake really helps with that because he really is just a positive human being and he helps me all the time. But it's not always rainbows and sunshine. And I try to tell him that for me, anyways. Like for him, I swear everything is just rainbows, lollipops, sunshines, whatever. Like all the happy things you can think of. But yeah, it's not always that easy. Like even going to Bali, it does take me about a month to settle in because I'm very routine oriented too. So traveling, that's kind of hard to do with being like that, right? So I need to settle myself in. Even though I've been there 4 years in a row, I always need to have that month of kind of like settling myself in, finding my routine, and then getting, used to everything. But yeah, I do love it.
So we're going to talk about Bali in a second. And so I want to talk about coaching a little bit. You joined the Ascend athlete team earlier this year. You then became their one-on-one gymnastics coach.
It was kind of reversed, actually. So I was actually their gymnastics coach first. And Emily, when she was working with them, she told me, hey, like if you want, you could do our programming and stuff. And I was kind of in the middle of like not having a coach and Jake coaching me. So yeah, a few months later, that's when I was like, you know what? Yeah, I will start doing the Ascend programming. And then Tristan and I kind of started talking and he started giving me programming. So.
And then you ended up moving to Houston to train with Tristan day in and day out, and Kelly.
Yeah.
Was that the first time you had a coach other than Jake?
No, I had a coach for a little while earlier in my career. He's out of Calgary, OPT, so like OPEX, James Fitzgerald. It's his brother Mike, and he's amazing. He's so knowledgeable. That was kind of when I was just getting into competing, and then yeah, I quit that for a while. I started doing like the programming at my gym for a while, and then my next coach was in Bali. And then I had him for like over a year. And then, and then I moved to Tristan just because I was working for them. And I thought it would just be really nice to just kind of all conglomerate into one. So yeah, he's been like my third coach, I'd say.
It's funny you talk about OPT. I just was watching the documentary Every Second Counts, where James Fitzgerald plays a major role in that. It's the 2008 CrossFit Games.
Okay, I'm gonna have to go watch that.
Yeah, it's insane because the way it was set up was the workouts were all timed.
Yeah.
And the way the leaderboard worked was your combined times of all the workouts was your score.
Whoa. That's crazy.
So if you won an event by 3 minutes, you got that 3 minutes on everybody else.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Yeah, it's crazy. And
that is cool.
Yeah, and
did he win one year, James?
He did. Did he? He did. No,
I feel like he did, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I don't think he did. I think he was always like in the top 5.
Okay.
But he actually suffered a very big injury right before 2008. And that's kind of what's featured in this documentary. Him trying to overcome that injury to be able to compete and try to win.
Crazy. Yeah, I'll watch that for sure.
Chelsea Miller says, did you ever train with Heather Gillespie?
I sure did. Yeah. So she was my first kind of coach, and I looked up to her a lot, like because she's been to the games a couple times, and yeah, she owned the first gym that I had ever gone to. So yeah, I trained with them for maybe 2 or 3 years, that gym. So last time we talked about you moving to Houston, why you did that.
to really make a push to the games this year. When did you decide you wanted to be a full one-on-one coach?
I mean, I kind of, even before I became their gymnastics coach, I was doing my own stuff on my own for probably 2 years, I think. So I've been a coach for a while. I've been a CrossFit coach for probably 4 of the 6 years that I've been competing. Like right after I went to that gym with Heather Gillespie, I went gung ho. I was like 2 a days I'm training, I'm competitive. And then maybe a year into it or a year and a half into it, I got my L1 and I started coaching there. And then like the online stuff kind of happened before and during COVID. And that's when I really started my own business. But then obviously with me becoming like a full-time athlete, I kind of pushed my business aside. And that's when I got the job with Ascend, and it was just so much easier that way, where I just found that I didn't have any time to work on my business. It was just always programming, right? So I couldn't ever really build my business. So yeah, it's been a while since I've been doing the one-on-one. So probably 4 or 5 years.
Do you see yourself ever becoming an elite athlete coach?
I think like that's what I wanted to work with at the beginning, but my first few clients ever were like just general pop, and it was, you know, my first client ever, he just wanted a coach in his pocket, and I mean, it was really cool. We got along really well, and I haven't really worked with well, some of my gymnastics clients are pretty elite, so I don't know. It's just something that I don't really think of often, just because I'm focused on my training more. For the gymnastics side, I would say yes, for sure. I helped Amy Kringle a bit with her ring muscle ups, and that was really fun to be able to work with her, because she's an elite athlete. She's gone to semis a couple times, and she's amazing. So I think for the gymnastics side, for sure. The other side, I'm not sure if I would do that right now, maybe after my CrossFit career.
Knowing you and kind of hearing about what other people say about you, I see you as you're so good with people. And I was going to save this for later in the show, but I just talked to Kelly Baker, who made it to the CrossFit Games, but it was a really tough moment for her for about 20 minutes at the end of semifinals.
Oh yeah.
And in our exit interview, that this is going to appear in the documentary I'm working on. So this has never been seen before by anybody but my eyes.
Woo! We get a little peek.
So I'm going to play this for you. And she's talking about how you got her through that moment. And this is why, I see you as an amazing coach. And I just want to share that. It's about 1 minute, 5 seconds.
Okay.
So I will play that now. And our mics will mute during the video. When it's done, we'll unmute. Okay.
And I was just sitting in a squat on my start mat, just thinking please God, this can't be the way that this ends. I can't, this isn't the end of the season. And Hattie came up to me. I don't know how they let her, but she ended up coming up over to my start mat, and she hugged me, and she was like, no matter the outcome. Cause I was like, Hattie, this can't be the way it ends. And now that I look back, I'm like, why would I say that to her? You know, I was such a selfish moment for me, just being why, this can't be how my season ends, knowing that she had already realized that hers ended. And she's just so selfless. And she was like, no matter what, I'm so proud of you. And and then there was something about the way that she had said it that made me feel like it's okay no matter what happens. This is bigger than just me. And I was prepared that I wasn't making it.
The intent wasn't to make you cry.
I know, but I'm crying. I've already cried once in this interview, so it's fine. Aww.
the key of that was that she's in one of the toughest moments in her career. You've already had a tough weekend. And with that, you still had the heart for her to go over and comfort her in that moment. And it helped. And it got her through that moment. And she goes on to tell me that like she went through a swing where she didn't think she made it, but she was okay with it because of what you whispered in her ear.
Well, it's something I'm learning for myself as well. Like Jacob and her, like they were wearing these bracelets, and Jacob and I made some bracelets before just saying like, I am confident and blah, blah, blah. And something that I learned over that weekend and I'm still learning is that I am enough. Like no matter what happens, I am enough. And that's actually what this bracelet says, is I am enough. And so it just like reminds me all the time that like, hey, no matter what happens, it doesn't matter if it's with, you know, making it to the games or my business isn't where it wants to be, or, you know, whatever it is that I need to remember that I'm enough. So like, I'm just, it's crazy that she said, I don't know how they let her over there. I stood there for like 5 minutes being like, should I run over there? I need to run over there. I don't know if I'm allowed to run over there. I'm looking around and finally I'm like, I don't even care. I'm running over there. And then, I'm happy that I did because I just wanted to comfort her. I mean, we had been training so hard for how many months, right? And I was proud of her and I am proud of her no matter what, you know?
And when you're a training partner, you go through so much together.
Oh yeah.
And in those 6 months you train together, it's almost like you become a little family.
100%. We've cried together. We've, you know, bled together, sweat together, like just all of it, you know?
And how many times do you have to lift each other up in training?
I mean, I feel like by the end, it was a lot more than the beginning, because the beginning we were just kind of getting used to how we work. But I mean, we talked about this on our last time talking together, but like we tried to just be super positive. And if we did have something negative, we're like, Kate, we have like a second to get something out. And then we're back to, you know, helping each other out or helping each other be positive in this situation. So, yeah.
So when I talked to you in Pasadena, you were coming off an event where you had kind of picked things up a little bit. And you told me that you really had to learn to just have fun again. That part of what you think went wrong at the beginning was that you were putting too much pressure on yourself and not having fun with it. And you weren't being Hattie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm realizing that a lot more over the time goes by, and it's crazy because even afterwards I thought, I mean, Instagram is such a trap and it's such a crazy thing that I thought that I needed to tell the world like right away what I learned from semifinals or something weird like that. But I've honestly just been learning so much over these past like months. And I think that that's okay. You know, you don't have to learn something right away. I'm learning that more and more. And the more I go to the mountains, the more that I've picked up like my jewelry stuff lately is I'm finding, okay, I need to see that I'm not just an athlete. I'm also someone who loves to dance like crazy, and someone who writes poems, someone who makes jewelry, someone who's creative, you know? And I think that I kind of forgot all of that because all that we would do is go to the gym and then I would go home and be a hermit. And I didn't want to like really hang out with anybody. I think I went out once with Tristan and Jacob and Courtney, and we went out to like an escape room. And even after that escape room, because that was closer to semis, I was like, why didn't I do this more? I needed to just get away from the gym, you know, and just have fun and whatever it is. So yeah.
So I didn't mean to go down this path, but I'm going to now, right? So if you go to your Instagram at the top, and I'm not going to pull it up, I'm just going to read it. you describe yourself, and I know this is social media, okay? It says that you are a coach, an athlete, an adventurer, and creative. So when I go through your Instagram, and I know that this is not real life, I know you're a coach, I know you're an athlete, and I know that you're an adventurer.
Mm-hmm.
But I actually asked myself this question: what is she creative with? Like, what is and there's no representation of your creativity on your Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
And so I ask this question: did you lose that part of yourself in this journey? Or are the pressures of just being a sponsored athlete and all of that stuff making it so that the representation of you is the last thing on your mind with Instagram?
Yeah. I mean, for me, I could pick out some things that are creative, like on some of the captions on my photos, I do like a little poem or whatever, and that's like me being creative or whatever. But yeah, I do think that I lost some of it because, like I said, I would just go home and I would be a hermit and I wouldn't do anything. And it's just like, no, I could have picked up my jewelry stuff again, like something that just keeps my mind, in that creative space. But instead I would I don't know if it was more, I was just so tired after training that I didn't want to do anything, or, that my mind was just focused on this one thing. But I'm hoping to bring in the next season of training. Like obviously I'm in off season, so I'm training a little bit less. So I do have that time, but I even told my coach, I'm like, I want the time to go out to the mountains still and go out to, whatever it is, or have time to make my jewelry or whatever it is that I want to do. So I do think that, I lost it a little bit. Does that answer your question?
I think so. And I think it's easy to do. Like I have a side of me that's very creative. I like to play music. I like to sing. I like to sketch. I like to do things like that. And that's the thing that always gets shoved to the side.
Mm-hmm.
Like work takes precedence and the podcast takes precedence and doing all this stuff. And my creative piece, like, I don't know if you can see like the guitar behind me, right?
Yeah.
I haven't plugged that in 6 months.
Yeah. And that's something that I'm trying to remember to keep doing. And you know what, now that we're talking about this, I even think that maybe it comes in stages, and maybe I just need to be okay with that, because like I was making these reels for a while, and I guess you could kind of call that creative, right? Is like the way that I make the reels. It's just, for me, I have such a hard time with technology, and we talked about this last time where I'm so old school, where I was like, I'd rather have a pen and paper than get on my phone or whatever. But that is being creative, I guess, just in a different way. So maybe I do need to kind of just look at it different. But I feel like my being creative, I have like these certain things that I love to do. So that's kind of what I think about when being creative. But I don't know, maybe I just need to look at it different as well, and be okay with certain times of the season. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I wasn't trying to come up with an answer or solution to it all. I just was kind of diving into something I noticed because of our conversation in Pasadena, and that you were trying to find the real Hattie in that weekend so that you could perform at your best. And I've talked to a lot of athletes who get way too overly stressed and they don't perform their best when they're in that situation. Like you take Ariel Lowen, for instance. She tried to make the games from 2012 to 2018 and didn't make it, right? Being a full-time athlete, trying to everything she could to do it. Retires, becomes a mom, and then accidentally makes the games.
Yeah.
Because the pressure's not there, right?
And that's what I feel about last year. Sorry. Yeah. And that's what I feel about last year is I didn't have that like as much pressure on myself because it was my first time going to semis, and like I didn't really know what to expect. And sure, I still had some pressure on myself. On that first day, I messed up on a workout that I thought was going to be my workout. And then I messaged my mindset coach, and he just put me in my place. He was like, you need to focus on what you can control. That workout's done and gone. Like cry about it for a second, but then we're done. We're moving on. And now we're having fun, and we're going back to what we can control. Right. And I had the best rest of the weekend. But this year I was just so stressed on myself the whole time. And, I do think I know where some of that was coming. Obviously, one of them is, finding that Hattie again, but obviously there were a couple other things that I think I'm going to change for this next year in knowing that. But yeah.
So I'm going to ask one more question, and then do you, when you're training with a Kelly Baker every day, and do you get the sense that this was you felt you could make it this year, right? You felt like the fittest you've ever been. I think we talked about that. Did that in itself lend itself to be more pressure because
100%.
you had gotten your body to that spot?
Yeah, but not my mind. And that's one of the things that I'm talking about when I say, like, I know what I need to change. Like, yes, whether that's go train with her again, but my coach and I even talked about it where maybe we don't do the same thing every single day because we're just putting that much pressure on ourselves. And like, for me, maybe it worked for her really well, but for me, I don't need that every single day. I need a little bit of my own time, which is crazy to think about because I'm so dependent. I'm not like very independent, but when it comes to this training, I think I need a little bit more of just not being pressured by what this person's doing, right? Sure, we can still train together, but just not be doing the same thing all the time. And I think that's going to be huge because the year before I just trained alone, right? And seemed to work as well. So I think it's now just finding the balance of both.
And you had this conversation with Tristan, and he's very open to this idea?
Oh, for sure. He thinks it too. So, yeah.
Well, that's
it's
awesome.
Just finding what your athlete. Sorry.
Yeah. It's awesome that you guys can have that conversation too.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we had a whole breakdown about it. So it was good.
So with that, you're coming back to Ascend next year.
Like to Houston?
Well, you're going to stay with Tristan.
Yes.
So I guess that begs the question, not to Houston next year?
I'm not sure yet. I haven't decided. If I don't, then I for sure will go there for a few weeks or maybe like a week here, a week there, kind of thing. I'll for sure go visit because I'm not going there. Like I made so many friends and it was just so amazing to be there. And yeah, whether Kelly's going to be training or not, like I want to go there. And yeah, I'm sure she will be. I hope so.
So, and then you're gonna make another run at it and just do it in a different way, maybe smarter this year. For sure. Yeah. It's all about just, figuring out what kind of athlete you are, figuring out how you work and every year is going to be different, but I think I know a little bit more of what I need as an athlete and as a person in, being an athlete, but trying to juggle everything else. So yeah, just going to keep working hard and keep running for it. So with that, I'm going to move on to something more fun and something I didn't know about, but man, what I love to do sometime is I would love to sign up for Hattie's Bali fitness retreat.
Yes, come.
So
I'm so excited
can you
for it.
explain to us what that is?
Yeah, for sure. So I'm collaborating with the gym that I go to there, which is one CrossFit Wanderlust. Well, it's called Wanderlust Fitness Village now. Dave Driscoll owns the gym. He's pretty awesome. And yeah, he puts on these retreats, and then I'm the host. So I'm just trying to get like as many people to come and just adventure and have fun. And we're going to climb a mountain, like a volcano, go surfing. There's yoga, there's everything. You stay at a 5-star resort on the beach, which is awesome. And then, yeah, a lot of it is just, I'm going to put them through workouts. So right now I have two people signed up. I'm obviously hoping for some more, but I did tell the 2 girls that are signed up, like, if it ends up just being us 3, let's just party. Let's have so much fun. And, I'm just trying to get my foot in the door with these retreats and just see how, it all works. And then I want to keep piggybacking off of that. And I want to keep doing them, obviously, because they're just so much fun, and I can, share my love for travel and fitness and just all of it in one. So yeah.
The topics that look like something up my alley are relaxing by the pool.
Yeah, that one's good.
The good food. And
there's
the
such good food there. Friends. Okay, that beach club is insane. It's crazy. It's right on the ocean, and it's just overlooking the ocean. There's like, I think two big pools. One of them has these big beds in the pool, so you can just lounge out on these cool beds. Someone brings you drinks. You're just dancing. There's a big dance floor, and yeah, it's going to be pretty amazing.
And if I remember it, like, you don't even drink anymore, but you still have a blast.
Yes. So I went a year and a half without drinking, and recently I've been having a couple drinks here and there. And, I think I did it mainly because of what the topic was that we were talking about before, is just kind of finding what I need to kind of let loose, and whether that is going to be alcohol or not. I now know that I can control it, and I feel okay with just having 1 or 2. So I'm really proud of myself for that. At first I was a little bit upset with myself for having a drink, but then I was like, you know what? No, you just did something so hard and so amazing, and I'm so proud of myself for. And yeah, now if I want to drink, cool, I can have a drink. If I don't, then I don't have to have a drink. So yeah, I went a year and a half without drinking. It was really cool. And yeah, I might have a couple with the girls for sure.
Awesome. Well, if it wasn't so expensive to go to Madison for me this week, maybe I would sign up.
Okay, the next one.
Yeah, I'll keep my eye out, because, man, I with all this CrossFit stuff, I need to get away to like a beach somewhere instead of just going to cover an event. All my vacations have been to Pasadena, Orlando, Granite
Your
Kings.
vacations are work.
Right. I need to get to a 5-star resort with good food, and I'll even hike a volcano for that.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. So, keep your eyes out for the next one.
So along with that, any other things coming up for you over the next year that you are excited about?
I mean, the Egypt qualifier I'm excited about. Obviously that's happening. I'm going to try out for Dubai. For travel wise, just those things, like, we just love traveling, obviously. So I was like, why not go and compete in these cool countries? But yeah, nothing too crazy right now. Just getting in as much mountain time as I can before we go to Bali. So we leave September 2nd. I'm going back to Bali, and yeah.
Where is, I'm going to sound stupid, where is Bali?
So it's right above Australia. It's like the Australian vacation hub. So that's where they all go for vacay. And it's in Indonesia.
How far of a trip is that to Dubai or to Egypt?
So Egypt is going to be far. Dubai, it's not too bad. I'm not exactly sure like the exact hours, but Egypt is going to be pretty pretty far. And then Dubai isn't too bad. Like it's still going to be a hop, skip, and a jump. So we're going to have to go maybe like a week before just so we can kind of, get ready for that. But yeah.
Is Egypt a newer event?
I only heard about them last year, but that's like Brent Fikowski won it last year. Another girl, Antonia, I competed with her at Wadapalooza. She won it as well. I feel like they've been doing it for a little bit, but it just hasn't gotten big until maybe, those games athletes went and kind of put a name on it a little bit, but I'm not actually sure how long they've been doing it. So.
Okay. And Dubai's been around for a good chunk of time now.
Yeah.
Very well established.
Yeah. I feel like I saw something about Egypt, maybe this being like their 9th. I could be totally wrong, but I think that I read something like that, maybe 9th year or something like that. But
so just to finish up, what does training look like for you these days?
I mean, at first it was like I was out of the gym in an hour, and that was crazy. Now it's about 3 hours of, we're working on some strength. We're working on making those legs stronger. And then a lot of EMOMs, and a lot of accessories, which is great. I'm doing a little bit of physio too. I just had like some bad tendonitis in my elbows, and they're starting to feel a lot better. So I've just been doing, the work for that. And yeah, obviously the qualifiers now. So things have kind of ramped up just a little bit for those qualifiers, but yeah, it's pretty chill.
And my last question, there was grip gate for a minute where they came out where the grips couldn't be longer than your longest finger.
Yeah.
And then they used a very poor picture for the after shot, which threw everybody off. Do you think there's something coming that's the reason they're doing it this year and making an emphasis that you can't have a long grip? And do you think the longer grip even helps?
I didn't even really think of that. I mean, I'm not sure because I haven't used that long of grips. Like my grips do just go like right to right there. So, I mean, I'm sure a little bit longer for sure helps. But like having it way longer, I don't really think that it helps. I haven't really tried it, but yeah, I don't know. I didn't actually think of that. If that's like a reason they're coming out with something new, I don't even know what that would entail. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm just now trying to think about what that would be.
Yeah, I am not good at gymnastics, so it didn't make any sense to me.
I get that they're trying to standardize things or whatever, but I don't really get why they had to do that. But I mean, whatever. It's their business. They can do what they want.
So I wanted to throw this up here. It is the ascendathletetraining.com /gymnastics. It is Ascend Athlete Gymnastics with Coach Hattie Kanyo. If you're interested, here is the website. And there's some information there on pricing, what it entails, all of that. And there's a little start now button if you are interested. See how it lights up and everything.
Even if you want to jump on a call or anything, just slide into my DMs and we can chat. Because like I say that with everybody is maybe they don't know that they need a coach or want a coach, but I've had a couple girls message me and just send me a video of their ring muscle ups or something, and I'll just give them some feedback, and that's all they needed, right? And I'm not here to just be like, no, you need to pay me every month and we're working on this every month, and maybe it just takes one little cue. So, and I love helping people that way. So just send me a video even and I'll help you. And maybe we'll work together. Maybe we won't. Maybe that'll be all there is to it. But yeah.
You heard it here first. She can fix your gymnastics in one video session.
Maybe.
Just kidding. Just kidding. Well, as always, Hattie, it is a pleasure getting to chat with you.
It's been amazing.
You bring the coolest energy and vibe, and I want more people to know who you are, and I can't wait till you break over that hurdle of the CrossFit Games. And I know it's going to be
Thank you.
soon.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
With that, everybody, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being in the chat. We will catch everybody next time on the Clydesdale Media Podcast.
Peace out.